Greetings everybody, and welcome back to episode 39 of Extreme Evocast, an all-purpose Pokemon podcast where we talk about news, trivia, and everything related to Pokemon. A little bit up close and personal today for this episode, and that might be a common reoccurrence in the next few weeks here, mostly because I'm trying something new. Welcome to the first episode of Evocast in my third year of college. I'm very excited about that. And because of that, I am living in a dorm. And this dorm has some setbacks that I need to work around. First of all, I have roommates or suite mates. I'm living with other people, that are in close proximity to me and my room. So I need to not be loud, and I cannot be extremely, talkative. I can be talkative, but I can't be disrupting, because it is later at night. Of course, I don't want to disturb the people that I'm living with. I have been doing some streaming, so it's not like I haven't been able to just talk. I mean, I hear my suite mates just talking all the time, much louder than I am. So I don't want to worry about it too much. But I do still want to be courteous, and I want to get into the habit of being quiet, and so things might be a little bit more up close and personal in these upcoming episodes of Evocast, and even more so because the room that I'm in, my dorm room, is very spacious. It's very tall, and the walls are obviously just they're not great because it's a college dorm. So I have taken precautions to that, where I'm doing the old podcast YouTube video recording trick where I have a comforter over my computer and my microphone, so it doesn't bounce around and it doesn't create an echo. Because if you notice, if you're an avid listener of my streams, you might hear some echo, and I don't want that for my podcast, obviously, because it's podcasts are a lot more easy to control, and yes, I could do noise canceling and stuff, but if I can help it, I'd much rather just sort of remedy it by putting a comforter over myself for the next hour and a half, or give or take, until I'm done recording Evocast. And I'm perfectly fine with that. It just sounds like I'm talking in your ear, and I hope that's not a problem with some people. I know personally ASMR makes me very uncomfortable, so I don't know if me talking really close is going to be weird for anybody. I hope it's not. I hope that the sound quality is better than it has been. At least I like to think that it's a lot better than it has been. And honestly, I'm probably going to be doing this method in the future, even when I am out of my dorm and I'm in a more private place. I probably will be wrapping myself in a blanket, because it sounds amazing. There's no background sound, if at all, and I really, really like it. Just know that this is going to be sort of how it's going to go for the next, who knows how long, until I'm out of college. So if you don't like this, you might have to get used to it, and if it's something that you enjoy, then, well, I have great news. It's going to be staying for a long time. Honestly, it makes me feel a lot more professional than it seems, or than I maybe am. I really enjoy the fact that there is very little background sound. It's almost amazing to me that, because I've struggled with it in the past. I mean, God, if you listen back to the first episode or so, the first 6 or so episodes, it sounds horrible. Not only am I not good at talking to people, but I also have the worst microphone in the world. Okay, it's not that bad, but it is pretty bad. I didn't have the money to spend on an actual microphone, so it was bad. And this is just giving, some insight on how much I'm improving, and I'm happy about that. Anyway, let's get into the episode. So yes, I am in college, which means Pokemon Go is something that I can actually play now. I haven't had a chance to play it recently, because, it's still the first week of school, or the second week of school, so I haven't had time to, excuse me, I just bumped my microphone. I haven't really had time to really move in and get things settled enough where I think that I'm comfortable playing Pokemon Go on my free time, just because I have so much other things to do. It's a little bit of a stressful time to, get things going. the beginning of the semester is, it's always stressful work. So, I'm taking a little bit of time to sort of get used to things. I mean, I only had like the second day of each of my classes, pretty much, because I'm recording this on a Tuesday. So, it's been some time of, I'm meeting back up with some friends. I have actually had some time to play a little bit, and I've enjoyed it for what it is right now. But there's some exciting things to talk about coming to Pokemon Go. In the upcoming minutes here, but I will say that I do plan on playing it more. I am going to sort of force myself to play it more and get my personal insight like I used to in the very beginnings of this podcast. I feel like I don't really play Pokemon Go nearly enough as I did. And some people might miss that. I mean, for obvious reasons, but even now that I have access to college, I need to sort of get myself back up there. Anyway, speaking of Pokemon Go, let's start with Pokemon Go. Get it out of the way because we don't really have all that much to talk about with that game today. The poll that we talked about last time, deciding what Pokemon would be for the community day. It featured for the community day has been been shared with us. The results are in. It is exactly what I expected it to be. Almost exactly what I expected it to be. I'm pretty sure I predicted this exact thing. Porygon won, and Charmander is second place. Which is a little bit disappointing because, we already have Charmander. But I don't think... Or we already got Charmander twice, I think, because of, that one big December one with everything. But I actually don't think I have a shiny Charmander. So, you know what? I am not really opposed to that because it'll give me another chance to get a shiny one. So September 20th is going to hold the Porygon Community Day, which I am so excited for. And October 17th is going to be the Charmander one. Let's see. There are very, very big things coming to Pokemon Go, or have already come to Pokemon Go. Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution is here, finally, in Pokemon Go. Let's see. This is before. It's giving myself a little bit of an insight because I actually didn't really read up on it until recently, so I'm going to refresh myself. This is an old news. This is old news. This is something we already knew, or we already know now. I'm going to read this out, and then I'll read the more updated news to confirm or deny whether or not, these things actually came or whatever, because I want to sort of go through the timeline because I'm unaware of it. Niantic has announced the introduction of Mega Evolution through various news outlets, including GameSpot, Eurogamer, and VG247. Coming tomorrow, you'll be able to Mega Evolve Pokemon, specifically Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, and Beedrill. Another reason why having Charmander is exciting. To do this, you'll need to collect Mega Energy for each Pokemon. This is done by defeating Mega Raids, and the faster you complete Mega Raid battles, the more energy you will receive. Mega Raid battles will appear soon, featuring Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard, and Mega Blastoise, and these will give the Mega Energy for each Pokemon. In doing so, Niantic are removing 2- and 4-star raids from the raid table in order to include a focus for Mega Evolved Pokemon. Interesting. Is that forever? Mega Evolution only lasts a limited time. After you Mega Evolve a specific Pokemon for the first time, the cost to Mega Evolve it will reduce. When Mega Evolved, you can participate in gyms, raids, trainer battles, and Go Rocket battles. Shadow Pokemon and Clone Pokemon cannot Mega Evolve. You'll be able to pick which Mega Charizard you wish to get when you Mega Evolve. If you use Mega Evolved Pokemon in a raid battle, any moves of the same type of that Pokemon will get boosted. There will be a Mega Pokedex to keep track of Mega Evolved Pokemon, and there will be a special research as well as events throughout September that will focus on Mega Evolved Pokemon. An event from September 1st to 7th is focused around Mega Raids, September 11th to 17th focused on battles with Mega Evolution, and 22nd through 28th there will be events about buddy features with Mega Evolution. Wow, that's a lot of information. I hope you are following through that. So that is, I need to take a breath. That's sort of what we had on the 26th of August. And then a few days later, actually a day later, it says, following the reveals from media yesterday, elements of Mega Evolving, including a button to Mega Evolve, as well as the Mega Pokedex, are starting to go live. This confirms that you will initially need 200 Mega Energy to evolve the Kanto starters and 100 to Mega Evolve Beedrill. Why Beedrill? Did I miss over that Mega Beedrill is happening? Oh yeah, what? Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, and Beedrill. Interesting. I like Mega Beedrill. What the heck? Why Beedrill? Why the 3 Kanto starters and then Beedrill? We have also confirmed the stats for these Mega Evolved Pokemon and have updated them. We'll be continuing to update as all info comes out. Mega Raid battles are starting to appear, and the new special research is available on Mega Discovery. Only Mega Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, and Beedrill are currently available. We're currently collecting all of the details, so keep checking back. That's Cerebi, that's not me. Again, thank you, Cerebi, for giving me pretty much all of this information. Interesting. A Mega Bracelet is now available for the Style Shop for free. Interesting. I don't know if you need it to Mega Evolve, but you can have a Mega Bracelet. Also, I'm not going to read out the Mega Discovery special research task, because I know that some people like to sort of be surprised by that, including me. I read it over before we started. It's nothing special, but I'm not gonna spoil it for people that might be interested in that. But it is cool. It's sort of I'll say this. It's sort of an introduction to Mega Evolution, which is why I think that Beedrill is being added, because it's focused around Beedrill. And I think it's sort of like a tutorial on how to Mega Evolve. Honestly, that's all the information that we really have, huh? I just closed out of my Cerebi tab, and the fact that I have a blanket over my monitor is kind of giving me some trouble getting back to it. Here we go. It's interesting because I don't really know how to feel about this. I've heard from a lot of opinions so far that it's not very good, that the Mega Evolution sort of method is not very fun because it's limited and you have to grind raids in order to get it. Maybe they'll be doing some changes in the future. I haven't tested it out for myself, so I can't really say specifically. I will be doing some testing, over the course of the next few weeks, as I just play Pokemon Go naturally. But I've heard from A-Drive, a really notable Poke YouTuber and Twitch streamer, that it's garbage, that it's not very good. Here, I'm actually gonna read out what he says. Not that A-Drive's word is what you should believe, but let me see. He did make a sort of announcement about it, or sort of a tweet about it. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, I found it here. It's not as in-depth as I thought it was. I just sort of scrolled over it, and it's literally just a tweet that says, the Mega mechanic in Pokemon Go is garbage tier. That's it. That's the only thing that he said about it. And a lot of the comments seem to agree. It takes 4 to 6 raids to have enough energy to Mega Evolve. Emerge is specific to that Pokemon, and you would need to do 15 plus raids to get all starter Megas, and they only last 4 hours each. Let's see. Yeah, people are saying that it's hard to get the energy, and you really have to grind for it, which sucks. Like I said, I'm just giving an example of somebody who said that it was not very good. Somebody who is notable for playing a lot of Pokemon Go and just a lot of Pokemon in general. So take it with a grain of salt, but. I don't really have an opinion, like I said, so I look to other people who I can trust, like A-Drive, for example. I trust his word, and if he thinks it's bad, then, I will change my judgment accordingly, but I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. It looks cool, though. I mean, I'm excited to see it. Mega Evolution has been overdue for a very, very long time, and I'm almost upset that it hasn't. I'm upset that it didn't happen earlier, but I'm excited that it's here. Just in general, I don't really care if it's good or not. I like Pokemon Go for the fact that it exists. You know me. I'm more of a collector when it comes to Pokemon Go. So just having another thing to experience, having another thing to talk about on this podcast, and have a good time with, I guess, is it's exciting, and I'm excited for the opportunity to test it out and give you my feedback about it. Anyway, that is all the news coming from Pokemon Go right now. I'm not going to dwell on Mega Evolution and Pokemon Go for any longer than I already have. Already 15 minutes in the episode. Only have a few more things to talk about. There's a new TCG sort of pack coming or has already been released. I can't remember. Let me find it. It's called Vivid Voltage. I know that for a fact. If I can just find the Cerebi post about it. Let me see here. Aha! The Pokemon Company International has announced a new English set. The set is called Vivid Voltage, and it will be released on November 14th, 2020. The set features over 18 cards. Just 18 cards, that's it. 185 cards, including 11 Pokemon V cards, including Sigrid V, and a new amazing Pokemon featuring legendary and mythical Pokemon. And it also includes VMAX for Pikachu, Orbeetle, and Colossal. I don't understand like half the words that they said there, but it sounds cool. I know V is like the Gigantamax of the TCG. I don't really know why they did that. They can't just call it Gmax. They've always, like Level X. They've always added this like, this is like a new thing, but it's just exactly the same as everything else. So I don't really understand why the TCG works like that, but I mean, hey, it's essentially just Gigantamaxing. I'm not into the TCG, so I can't really say for sure how different it is, but yeah, pretty much. VMAX is pretty much, as far as I can tell, it's just Gmax, but hey, a new set is coming. And last but not least, hold on, I have okay, I'm gonna I stopped because, I remembered I have some Cafe Mix news to share. It's literally just Celebi and Audino are coming. That's it. As of September 9th, Celebi will start to appear in the cafe as a special customer, and I believe Audino too. Let's see. Yep, Celebi September 9th. Where's Audino? It's here somewhere. I can't find it. Audino's coming too. That's all I had to share. But, finally, there's a new thing happening, and a new sort of trend going around on Twitter. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Pokemon Masters EX is out. It's updated, and is now called Pokemon Masters EX. With this, new sync pairs and features have been added. There's it's just like an updated version of Pokemon Masters. Like I said, I don't cover a lot of Pokemon Masters on this podcast, so I don't know anything about it. But the most important thing about the Pokemon Masters EX reveal is that they made a hashtag for it, and they made a very interesting typo, or not even a typo, just a mistake. Because if you put Pokemon Masters, and then EX, and you shorten it, you sort of look at it in a different light, it might say Pokemon Master Sex. And the Pokemon Twitter community has been going insane over this. And honestly, to the point where it's not even funny anymore. But it happened. It's certainly something that I think I should bring up. I didn't participate, if you can even call it that. They were just making, sex jokes. That's it. That's literally the only thing that they did. But, hey, it raised awareness for Pokemon Masters EX, I guess. I think it kind of put it out to be more of a joke than anything, which is kind of sad. But, it was funny for 2 seconds, if that means anything. Yeah. All right, let's move on. You remember how I said at the beginning of this episode that I would be like, expect the blanket trick to be something that I'm going to be doing. This is annoying. I've had to record at least 5 things twice or 3 times because of how many times this blanket has just caused so many problems. Whatever, let's move on. Welcome back to everyone's favorite segment where we talk about a random Pokemon every episode. Today's Pokemon on the chopping block for Random Pokemon of the Week is number 268, if you can guess that. I would be extremely impressed if you were able to guess this Pokemon. 268 is Cascoon. Cascoon, of all Pokemon. Cascoon. Cascoon is a bug... You can hear the reluctancy in my voice to do this. Cascoon is a bug-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from Wurmple, depending on its personality value, starting at level 7, and evolves into Dustox, starting at level 10. It's the Cocoon Pokemon. It has shed skin. Literally, that's it. 50% male, 50% female, 2'4", or 0.7 meters, 25.4 pounds. That's a heavy, Jesus. Hold on, 2 feet tall. Good Lord, that's big. 11.5 kilograms. Yeah, I was going to talk about the personality value that determines Wurmple's evolution, but I think I'm going to save that for another time. I just ain't feeling it today, man. Like, you expect me to look at this Pokemon, Cascoon, and be like, I'm so interested about this Pokemon. Let's talk about it for hours on end. That's what I want to do right now. I want to talk about Cascoon for hours, but unfortunately, we only have a little bit of time to do this segment. Let's do some Pokedex entries. Cascoon makes its protective coating by wrapping its body entirely with a fine silk from its mouth. Once the silk goes around its body, it hardens. Boring. If it is attacked, Cascoon remains motionless, however badly it may be hurt. It does so because if it were to move, its body would be weak upon evolution. The Pokemon will also not forget the pain it endured. Less boring and horrible, actually. I wish I didn't read that. To avoid detection by its enemies, it hides motionlessly beneath large leaves and in gaps of branches. It also attaches dead leaves to its body for camouflage. Okay. It never forgets any attack it endured while in the cocoon. After evolution, it seeks payback. Good Lord, this thing is vengeful. I mean, look at that eye. Look at those angry eyes this thing's got. Good Lord. Because it's a Generation 3 Pokemon, we have some Pokemon Mystery Dungeon flavor text to go on. Half to full HP, it says, when this cocoon shows cracks, it'll be ready to evolve. That doesn't sound like it's talking. It sounds like a documentary. From quarter to half, it says, I have about half my health left. Boring, just like Cascoon. From 1% to 25%, it says, I'm feeling weak. I'll faint if this keeps up. And then when it levels up, it says, looks like I've leveled up. Nothing of interest. Just like this Pokemon. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I am giving too much flack to this gosh darn cocoon Pokemon. It's the middle stage cocoon. There's 2 of them in this region. Not that I don't like Hoenn, but like, I'm gonna have to do this again once Silcoon comes around. So I'm gonna split them into 2. I'm gonna give half of my energy to both of them because that's all they deserve. Okay, its shiny is green. That's it. It's like blue or like purple, like a light pinky purple, and now it's green. Its eyes don't change. Nothing changes. It's just green. 4 out of 10? Could have made something cool, but it's just green. 4 out of 10. I hate it. Trivia. Cascoon shares its category with Metapod, Kakuna, and Silcoon. They're all known as the Cocoon Pokemon. They also share the same base stat total, learn set ability, and EV yield. These Pokemon are the same. Cascoon and Silcoon have the same type, base stats, moveset, and shape, making them nearly identical. Cascoon, along with Silcoon, can be seen without the limb protrusions on its body in the anime, and all core series games from X and Y onward, and occasionally in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I know, like, the protrusions from its body are just like the silk that it's connecting between branches, but like it looks like it's just really spiky, and I like it. I wish that it was more like that. I wish it wasn't just like a ball in X and Y onward. James's Pokemon trivia card show that Silcoon and Cascoon indeed have those limbs. They're limbs? I thought they were just like silk threads, you know? They're limbs? Excuse me? Cascoon is the only bug-type cocoon-based Pokemon whose defense stat does not decrease upon evolution. Dustox's got that beef. Cascoon is the only Pokemon found in the Friend Safari that is not its own type. It is found in the Poison-type Friend Safari, even though Cascoon is pure bug. However, it evolves into the Poison-type Dustox. Amazing. What else do you want me to say? This is like the most worthy case of what do you want me to say for any Pokemon. And it's gonna be the same for Silcoon. I'm just gonna end it there. There's no Smogon competitive, like moveset for this thing. There's no reason to talk about this Pokemon anymore. Look, I appreciate it for what it is, but that's all it is a cocoon. Even the games, they don't give it any other thing other than like, oh, it will like kill anything that attacks it when it was a cocoon. That's more just Dustox, like that's more Dustox personality. This thing is boring. It has no personality, and I'm done talking about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 5th episode of, nestled in the 39th episode of Extreme Evocast, the 5th episode of Type Review. If you're unfamiliar with what type review is, this is the sort of segment, episode type thing where that I do when I don't have anything else to talk about. Honestly, a little bit of a secret there. I do this when I don't have like a topic in mind, and I'm like, okay, I can just do another episode of type review. This is the segment thing where I go over one of the 18 types. We've done 4 already. I think if I remember correctly, I have done Ghost, Normal, Ice, and Fairy. I think that's right. If I'm wrong, not in order. That wasn't in order. If I'm wrong, let me know. But it doesn't matter. Today we're doing Steel. Mostly because I like to sort of go along the lines of the Pokemon Twitter whenever I decide to do one of these, to see what the type month that the Pokemon Twitter does every so often. It's like, oh, it's water type month, or it's electric type month, that they just like randomly do for no reason. It's steel type month this month, and you would never be able to tell if it was that it's steel type month, because they have water type Pokemon all over. In fact, they have Staryu all over their Twitter. They've posted like 5 different GIFs of Staryu, Starmie, Seaking, like Misty. Like these are water type Pokemon. Goldeen. I guess it's like they're going in order, but like there's a lot of water type things going on. A lot of water type Pokemon on the showcase right now, I guess. And for some reason, it's Steel type month, and I have not seen a single Steel type Pokemon on their Twitter, their Twitter page for a long time, other than like Meltan, which is, like they did it. Like they released it, I suppose. They said that it was Steel type month on like August 26th. So, it hasn't been that long, so I haven't really given them much of a chance. But according to the Pokemon Twitter page, it is officially Steel type month. So I'm going to be going over Steel type Pokemon today. Steel type is one of the 18 types. Prior to changes in Generation 4, all damaging Steel type moves were physical, but they now may be special depending on the attack. Steel type was introduced in Generation 2, along with the Dark type, one of the only types that it was added later. Steel, Dark, and Fairy were all added later, and Steel and Dark was added in Generation 2. It's been a while since I've gone over Steel type Pokemon, gone over type review, sorry. It's been a while since I've gone over type review, so I kind of forget what I go over. What I sort of cover. But we're going to talk about the statistical averages for Steel-type Pokemon. The defense, so this is overall. This is every single Steel-type Pokemon in the game. Their overall stat total is 484.86. And, that's pretty high. Fully Evolved is 552. That's also very high. Defense is obviously the highest. I'm only gonna focus on the overall, because the fully evolved is we're talking about every steel type Pokemon today, baby. So 110 defense average, as well as 97 or 79 special defense. Not as high as I really expected it to be. You would expect that special defense is actually the second highest, but it's attack. Attack is 96.7. average. Next is special attack at 70.11, and then HP at 68.32, and then speed is obviously the lowest of all of the Steel-type Pokemon because they're generally very slow, because they're made of gosh darn metal. From generations 2 to 5, Steel-type Pokemon are immune to damage from the sandstorm weather condition. In Generation 2, Steel-type cannot be poisoned by Poison-type moves. Starting from Generation 3, Steel-type Pokemon cannot be poisoned at all. So apparently in Generation 2, you could poison a Pokemon maybe with like poison powder? Interesting. I didn't know that. Generation 7 onwards, Steel-type Pokemon cannot be poisoned except by Pokemon with corrosion. And then the differences between 2 to 5 and then like Generation 6 onwards is just because of Fairy type, which it got a new offensive ability again. So it's Steel is super effective against Fairy, Ice, and Rock. It is not very effective against Electric, Fire, Steel, and Water. And with the most defensive types in the game, or resistances, I suppose, it is resistant to Bug, Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Grass, Ice, Normal, Psychic, Rock, and Steel. And it takes super effective damage from Fighting, Fire, and Ground, and it is immune to Poison. In Generation 2, the Steel type was created to balance out the previously overpowered Normal and Psychic types, as both types are resisted by Steel. Although the number of Steel resistances dropped from 11 to 10 in Generation 6, Steel remains the most resistant type. Steel types cannot be poisoned, except by Twin Needle in Generation 2, or if poisoned by a Pokemon with corrosion. Apparently Poison Powder is Poison type. I thought it was Grass. But Twin Needle is Bug type. Twin Needle is the only move that can poison a Steel type in Generation 2. Very interesting. Also, hold on. It said that Steel's resistances decreased from 11 to 10 in Generation 4? Or Generation 6? When did that happen? Did it lose a resistance? Oh, interesting. It resisted Ghost and Dark. What? It resisted Ghost and Dark, and then in Generation 6, they removed both of them. Very interesting. I didn't know that, actually. Huh. Interesting. Normal Steel, Electric Steel, and Ghost Steel are tied for the most resistances, having 12 each, although there are currently no Pokemon with a combination of Normal Steel. So Ghosts, like a Ghost Steel Pokemon? How many Ghost Steel Pokemon are there? I guess I can look. Not many. Honedge, Aegislash. That's it. Aegislash. The Honedge line has the most resistances, and apparently Electric Steel also has the most. There's a few Electric Steel Pokemon. I mean, we're gonna look at these later. Oh yeah, like Magnemite, Magnezone, Togedemaru. That's it. Those 4. Interesting. They have the most resistances in the game. Steel-type Pokemon, on average, have the highest physical defense among all Pokemon and among fully evolved Pokemon. That is to nobody's surprise. While some Pokemon resist Steel-type attacks, many of these Pokemon are weak to ground, so combinations of Steel and Ground types tend to work well. That is on the offensive, which has very less amount of things compared to the defense, just because Steel is not known for its offensive abilities, despite having a pretty high average attack. Let's see. We're going to go over the moves and the Pokemon last. Steel. This page is gigantic. There's so many Pokemon. As of Generation 8, there are 64 Steel-type Pokemon, or 7.2% of all Pokemon, counting those that are at least Steel-type in one of their forms, including Alolan forms and Galarian forms, making it the 6th rarest type. Generation 7 introduced the most Steel-type Pokemon of any generation, with 13, and Generation 6 introduced the fewest Steel-type Pokemon since the type was created, with 4. Roman numerals are not my forte. That's something you'll know. You'll come to learn listening to this podcast. Generation 6. Nope. Generation 4. Generation 7 and Generation 8 introduced the most steel types steel type moves of any generation, each with 7. Generation 6 introduced the fewest steel type moves since the type was created, with 1. In Generation 2, the steel type saw one type change in the Pokemon family, but no change in moves. The opposite is change with the dark type, which saw one type change in a move, bite, but no change in Pokemon. Before in Generation 6, Steel type was the only type that had a non-neutral type matchup against all of the 17 existing types, considering both the offense and defense of both types. In Generation 6, it was changed so that Steel type no longer resists Dark or Ghost type moves. We talked about that earlier. Each of the three regional starter types has a different effectiveness when attacking a pure Steel type Pokemon. Grass does half damage, water does normal damage, and fire does twice damage. The trait is also shared by the bug type. What? Oh, right. Interesting. In Generation 2, there's a glitch copy of the Steel type named I(M'(ZM). The question mark hex form FF is the only Pokemon with this type. This type has no moves. We talked about Missing No before. I don't think we talked about that Pokemon with like a glitch type. More Pokemon gain the Steel and Flying types upon evolving than any other type, with a total of 11. Steel is the only type that resists Dragon type moves. And despite being introduced in Generation 2, there were no pure Steel type Pokemon until Generation 3, with Mawile at the time and Registeel. Okay, well, I think I have delayed it enough. the dreading task of going through every Steel type Pokemon. Thankfully, we're doing a type that is not so abundant of Pokemon. So first off in the list, apparently, because it's pure Steel type Pokemon. The first Pokemon is a Galarian form. It's Meowth. I guess I never really went over my feelings about this type, Steel type Pokemon. They're cool. I think they're like one of those niche types that's like very. I think that the game could do without them if possible. If we were, I don't know why if we're doing like a total Pokemon overhaul. I don't know why that's what the first thing came to mind was, but I think it's reasonable enough for Steel to kick the bucket. If it was if we had to get rid of one, I think my choice would maybe be Steel, maybe like Ground or Bug or something a little redundant. Steel is one of those types, but that doesn't mean it's not good. I like it. It's cool. The one thing I do hate about Steel, though, is in competitive Pokemon. Almost every single Steel type Pokemon in competitive Pokemon sucks. Ferrothorn, Aggro, sucks as in it is absolute hell to fight against, and I would rather die. Ferrothorn comes to mind. Bronzong, all of those like super beefy Steel type Pokemon. If you're a competitive battler, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And Steel monotypes, God, don't even get me started on Steel monotypes. Good Lord. So hard to deal with. I hate Steel types competitively. They're fun. I like stall tactics when I am doing them, but when I am up against them, I hate them. And I think that is a trait shared among many competitive Pokemon battlers. And I think that Steel type takes the cake for the most one-sided, where it's like, yes, it's super defensive, but that's it. You know what I mean? Like it can attack sometimes. It's got a little bit of offensive capability, and it also like it can set up spikes, it can set up Sandstorm, but like that's it. Steel type is supposed to be beefy. It's supposed to be defensive. That's the point. And because of that, like I said, it's a little bit niche. It's a little bit, one-sided. It's very to the extreme, which I do appreciate about it. It's very defensive. But that's like the only thing that it can do. Does that make sense? And for that, I like it. I think it definitely is one of my more favorite types. I will say that. It's definitely not up there very high, but it is in like the top 50%, maybe even the top 25% if I had to choose. Eventually I will do like a top, a list of my favorite Pokemon types in order. But for now, just know that Steel it's up there. It's pretty high. So I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker than I think normally I would. Judging by the length of some of the other type review episodes, I don't want this one to be so long. I don't want type review to be mostly just the Pokemon, so I'm going to kind of speed through these. Let me know if it's maybe something that you'd like in the future for me to go over them a little bit more, analytically, like I did before. But I think in terms of type review, I kind of don't want to draw it out more than I have to. So Meowth is the very first Steel-type Pokemon, pure Steel-type Pokemon, because it's a Galarian form. And next is Mega Aggron, and then Registeel. There's not that many full Steel-type Pokemon, just Steel-type Pokemon. There's one whole line here, Clink, Clang, Clink, Clang. Pokemon that I think should probably maybe be Steel-Electric, but they do learn a lot of Electric-type moves. Meltan, Melmetal, Gigantamax Melmetal. Wow, Meltan is, I'll have a chance to talk about Meltan in the future, and I probably will talk about it more in the future, but, it's so weird. It doesn't feel like a Pokemon at all. Genuinely. I mean, Melmetal and Meltan is, the face of the Steel-type month that the Pokemon Twitter is putting out right now, so I sort of have to mention it in this episode, but, it's so weird, man. But they're cool Steel types. I do like that they are, that they're new, mythical, and, legendary, I suppose, Steel-type Pokemon. And, of course, we do have Gigantamax Melmetal coming in the Crown Tundra. And same sort of line as the Galarian Meowth Berserker. And then one more line, Cufant and Copperajah, and, of course, Gigantamax Copperajah. I thought Copperajah was ground steel. I guess I'm wrong. All right, moving on to the half Steel-type Pokemon, primary Steel-type Pokemon. Not that it really matters all that much. Steelix, Mega Steelix, some actual Steel Ground-type Pokemon. Skarmory, Mawile, Mega Mawile. A lot of Megas. A lot of Steel-type Pokemon have Megas, huh? Maybe not as many as I think, but 2, 3, 4. Let's see. I'm gonna go through the list. 4, 5. No, just 4. 4, I mean, that's a pretty good amount, though, for a Steel Pokemon. There's a lot of Gigantamax, too. Aeron, Lairon, and Aggron. We discussed Mega Aggron. Wait, does Mega Aggron lose its rock typing when it Mega Evolves? I didn't know that. A lot of pseudo-legendaries. I know Lairon and I know Aggron isn't necessarily a pseudo-legendary, but it's got that vibe to it. But Metagross, Beldum, Metang, Metagross, Mega Metagross, Jirachi, Bronzor, Bronzong, Dialga, a lot of legendaries later. There weren't that many Steel-type legendaries to begin with, but they sort of added them more as they went, like Dialga, Jirachi, Cobalion, I almost said Klefki, my favorite legendary Pokemon, Klefki, Celesteela, Magearna, let's see. Honedge, we talked about before, has the most resistances of any Pokemon, apparently tied with Togedemaru and Magnezone, which is something you wouldn't really hear, I wouldn't expect to hear. Duraludon, Klefki, Gigantamax Duraludon, Sandshrew and Sandslash, Alolan forms, I always forget that they are also Steel-type, huh? Ice Steel, what a cool type. Probably my favorite Steel-type Pokemon. Not just because it's Ice-type. I do also really like Skarmory, but not only just because it's Ice-type, but I think it's cool. It maybe is a little bit because they're also Ice-type, but to each their own. Diglett, Dugtrio, a lot of Alolan forms got the Steel-typing, huh? Speaking of which, Magnemite, Magneton, and Magnezone, being those beefy boys, most resistances in the game, tied with Honedge and Togedemaru. Forretress, Scizor, Mega Scizor. No, there is a 5th Mega. I missed it. Mega Scizor. There's 5 Megas with Steel typings, huh? Empoleon, the only Steel-type starter Pokemon. Shieldon, Bastiodon, Wormadam. Always forget that Wormadam Trash Cloak is Steel-type. God, what a Pokemon, huh? Steel-type Bug. Not that we need it anymore. Let's see. We already there. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of steel bugs. There's a lot of steel bugs, or at least more than you would expect. You know, Durant, Genesect, Escavalier, Caesar, Wormadam, Fortress. There's quite a bit. That was all of them, by the way. I was like, oh, there's so many. I just named all of them. Lucario. Oh, Mega Lucario. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Megas. 6 Steel Megas. How did I miss both Mega Lucario and Mega Caesar? 6 Steel-type Megas. That's quite a lot, huh? Like, how many Megas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Welcome to Counting with Lily. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. That was in just X and Y. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, or like 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Hang with me. 44, 43, 44, 45, 46. 46 Mega Evolutions. And 6 of them are Steel type. That's a hefty number. I'm not going to lie. That's what, like 7%? With only 18 types in the game, that's quite a number. I'm not going to lie. Of steel type Mega Evolutions. No wonder. I mean, they're beefy as all hell. So it's a pretty good idea to have the Mega Evolve. Probopass, Heatran, Excadrill. I always forget that Drillbur is also not Steel type. Escavalier, like mentioned earlier. Force Seed, Ferrothorn, Stunfisk, Galarian form, Steel Ground. Same as Dugtrio, huh? Or Alolan Dugtrio. I'm sort of learning these things as I go, or reminding myself, oh yeah, that Pokemon's that type. So if I'm like, oh yeah, that Pokemon, that's why. You know, when there's so many Pokemon in the game, you forget. You know, it's even as much as a fan as I am, you forget sometimes. Like, oh yeah, that Pokemon's a Ground Steel, huh? Stunfisk Galarian form. Like, you know, you don't really think about that Pokemon very much. And going through these types is exactly why I sort of like doing it, because it reminds me of types, and it gets me to appreciate them and the Pokemon that are alongside them. You know what I mean? And I hope that you can too. Let's see. Almost done here. Pawniard, Bisharp, Durant, Genesect. This is just the Steel-type Pokérap right now. Togedemaru, Beefy Boy. Solgaleo, also I always forget is Steel-type. Kartana, Duskmane Necrozma, Stakataka, Corviknight. Only 4 new, or I mean like Duraludon and like Galarian. Not that many Steel-type Pokemon in Generation 8, huh? It's like Kabaraja, that line, Meowth and Berserker, and then Duraludon. I already said Duraludon, and then, like Galarian, Stunfisk, and then Corviknight and Zacian and Zamazenta. That's it. It's not that many. And then, of course, like I said, Zacian and Zamazenta, both of them Steel type. I forget that quite a lot. I had Sword, so I have a lot of experience using Zacian. I always forget that Zamazenta is also fighting Steel, or also Steel type, fighting Steel. Interesting typing. I'm not gonna lie. You would think that the defensive one maybe wouldn't necessarily be fighting type, but I suppose that makes sense. And then there are the Pokestar Studio Pokemon, or you can't even call them Pokemon. F00, a little robot dude, Steel normal type. F0, another version of F00 where he's like broken, poor thing. Mecha Tyranitar and Mecha Tyranitar 2 Electric Boogaloo is literally electric type. Mecha Tyranitar is Steel, and then Mecha Tyranitar 2 is Steel Electric. So it quite literally is Electric Boogaloo. And then Transport. It's literally just a time machine. Okay. Interesting. So that's all the Pokemon. Let's move on to the moves. There was none in Generation 1, of course. I'm going to sort of try and filter them by generation if that's possible. Actually, I can filter them by generation. Wow, I don't even need to put in the work for it. Bulbapedia does it for me. There was 3 in Generation 2. Iron Tail, Metal Claw, and Steel Wing. 4 in Generation 3. Doom Desire is Steel type? What? Doom Desire is Steel. I guess it makes sense because it's the signature move of Jirachi. What? Doom Desire is Steel type? What? Since when? I don't think I ever really considered it being like having a type. Yeah, I mean I did, but like what's the other like Future Sight. Future Sight is Psychic type. It's Doom Desire is sort of the same thing. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I sort of just assumed that Doom Desire was also Psychic type. I did not know that it was Steel. That's weird. Huh. It says 2 turns after this move is used, a concentrated bundle of light blasts the target. I guess it's Steel type then. There's also Iron Defense, Metal Sound, and Meteor Mash. In Generation 4, there was Bullet Punch, Flash Cannon, Gyro Ball, Iron Head, Magnet Bomb, Metal Burst, and Mirror Shot. Generation 5, there was Automize, Gear Grind, and Heavy Slam, and Shift Gear. And in Generation 6, there was only one. Just one. King Shield for Aegislash. Generation 7, there was Anchor Shot, Corkscrew Crash, both versions of Corkscrew Crash, Double Iron Bash. What move is that? I've never heard of this move in my entire life. Double Iron Bash. Oh, it's a signature move of Melmetal. No wonder. I've never used Melmetal in my life. Gear Up, Searing Sunrays Smash, of course being Solgaleo Z move, Smart Strike, and Sun Steel Strike. And then at Generation 8, there was a lot. Behemoth Bash. It's because of it's not as many as it seems. There's a lot on the list here, but it's literally just like Behemoth Bash, Behemoth Blade, G-Max Meltdown, which is Gigantamax Metal, G-Max Steel Surge, which is Gigantamax Kabaraja, and then Max Steel Spike, which is just Steel-type Dynamax Pokemon move, there are 2 versions of each, so that is 6 for 3 moves. All G-Max moves. And then Steel Beam and Steel Roller. That's it. Interesting moves. Most of them are physical, as far as I can tell. Like, I'm looking at I just filtered it by category. There's a lot of physical moves. It's like most of the list. I mean, that makes sense. It's Steel. A few of them are also special, though. Like, Flash Cannon, Mirror Shot. Not many opportunities for special type Pokemon to use Steel types, which is interesting. It's sort of like I said, Steel type is good at one thing, and it's being beefy. It doesn't need to worry about having a lot of type coverage or physical or special coverage, because who cares? You take hits and you don't hit very well. That's Steel type for you. Anyway. Interacting with the Steel type, and also abilities, apparently, which are in the same sort of category here. A Pokemon with color change, Protean, Imposter, Arceus System, or Multi-type becomes a Steel-type Pokemon if, respectively, is hit with a Steel-type move, uses a Steel-type move, is sent out against a Steel-type opponent, is holding a Steel Memory, or is holding an Iron Plate or Steelium Z. It's literally just like these moves that turn you into Steel-type, like Ditto, Arceus, Silvally, stuff like that. Nothing that hasn't been said before. Nothing. I know it sounded complicated, but nothing you really need to think too hard about. Steel-type Pokemon are also immune to becoming poisoned from the abilities Poison Point, Poison Touch, Synchronize, or Effect Spore. And there are a few moves that interact with the Steel-type. Corrosion allows Poison-type and Steel-type Pokemon to become poisoned. Magnet Pull prevents Steel-type Pokemon from escaping. Sand Force strengthens Rock, Ground, and Steel-type moves when during a sandstorm. Steel Worker strengthens Steel moves to 1.5 times their power. And Steely Spirit powers up an ally Pokemon Steel-type moves. What is this move? Oh! Berserker. Steely Spirit. Weird. I didn't even know that ability existed. Well, how fun. You learn something new about Berserker every day. That's not necessarily true. You learn something new every day. That fact just so happened to be about Berserker. If you learn something new about Berserker every day, what the heck's wrong with you? You have amnesia? What's going on? Exclusive abilities. Only Steel-type Pokemon can have these abilities. Heavy Metal, Iron Barbs, and Light Metal. Right in the middle there. The three weight categories. Light Metal, Heavy Metal, and Iron Barbs. Alright, there are some items specific to Steel-type Pokemon. There is, Steel Gem, Steel Memory, Steel EMC. We're not going to go over those. Metal Coat. It increases Steel-type moves and also evolves some Pokemon. Iron Plate, blah, blah, blah. The Adamant Orb also apparently boosts Dragon and Steel-type moves when it's held. That makes sense because it's Dialga's Orb. And the Babiri Belly, if held by a Pokemon, this berry will lessen the damage taken from one super effective Steel-type attack. And finally, I know that my dear listeners are not as resistant as the Steel-type Pokemon, but if you've made it this far, I thank you and congratulate you for making it through. My dearest viewers can be so interested in such riveting conversations such as every single Steel-type Pokemon and move and ability. And finally, the trainers. Notable Steel-type trainers. There's Jasmine, the gym leader. Steven Stone, who is apparently he's a Steel-type user? I thought he uses like 3 Steel-type Pokemon. I suppose that's notable enough, huh? He also has the same amount of Rock-type Pokemon, so, it's a little bit of a questioning thing there. Byron, gym leader in Generation 4. Colress, Wilkstrom, the Elite Four in Generation 6. I do not remember how to pronounce this person's name. Molayne, that Steel-type trainer from Sun and Moon, which I am just remembering now, whom I totally forgot about. And, very oddly, Chairman Rose, which I don't think anybody was expecting. But, yeah, he's a Steel-type trainer. Chairman Rose. Spoilers for Sword and Shield, I suppose. And I think that's it. That's pretty much all that we can talk about for Steel-type Pokemon. I already sort of gave my thoughts about the Steel-type, and we went through every Steel-type thing, really. So what else is there to say? I don't think there's very much. So before we end it for today, we of course have to end it off with everybody's favorite segment where we talk about a random move every episode, Move Tutor. This time, I cannot remember the number. You'll have to forgive me. I was on a roll with remembering the number that goes along with every move. I couldn't remember this one. It's easy when it's Pokemon because it says it on the page, and the numbers actually have meaning, but the moves have the numbers of the moves have no reason or rhyme to be there. It's just sort of the list that's on Bulbapedia, and I don't remember it this time. I apologize. No guessing game for you this time. It's Refresh, which, to nobody's surprise, is not a very interesting move, but it is a move nonetheless. It is a non-damaging normal-type move introduced in Generation 3. It is a status move. It has a PP of 20, max 32, and it cures the user of burns, poison, and paralysis. It cannot cure freeze or sleep, so Refresh will fail if it's called by Sleep Talk. When Refresh can also be used as part of a Pokemon contest combination, with the user gaining an extra appeal point if either the move Sing or Water Sport was used in the prior turn. Why Water Sport? What? Interesting. Sing sort of makes sense. Why? What? Whatever, I'm not going to question it. If powered up with normal AMZ into Z Refresh, the user also regains all of its HP. And unfortunately, in Generation 8, Refresh was removed from the game. So, sorry. No more healing for you. Descriptions? Heals, poisoning, paralysis, or a burn. A self-healing move that cures the user of poisoning, burn, or paralysis. And probably the most interesting one of them all, this move can't be used. It's recommended that this move is forgotten. Once forgotten, this move cannot be remembered. So sort of a secondary effect there that nobody knows about with refresh. And finally, a little bit of interesting trivia. Interesting is subjective, but it's interesting to me to leave you all with, in Generation 3, the status screen, erroneously, that's not a word you hear very often, states that the move has a 100% accuracy, even though the target is the user. Riveting information, I know, but with that, I think that's going to do it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember that I am in college now, so the sound might be a little bit different. It might actually sound better, like I said, because I'm doing the whole blanket over the microphone trick. So from what I've been able to hear so far, it sounds great. But if you have any, sort of comments or anything about anything I can do to maybe improve the sound quality of the podcast that is in my realm of possibility, please let me know. And if you have any other suggestions for the podcast in general, let me know. And that being said, I hope that you all have an amazing day. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.